Alright, so yeah, I'm going to go over a few right now that I'm looking at before I start going through requests, kind of the ones that have caught my eye. A couple of them I made it to Twitter if you guys follow me on Twitter, which most of you do. You've probably seen a lot of them. Boeing being the first. There's up. I'm going to just get this indicator. I like looking at the weeklies when it comes down to the end of the week and kind of see what we're looking at in a large time frame. Boeing breaking out of this, it's peeking out of this wedge triangle, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. But it's breaking out to the upside, so it's good to know. The MACD is going bullish, and let me pull out the volume. If I remember right, well, the volume was kind of mediocre the last week, so that's something to watch as well. But it was an inside week, so that's really nice. Yeah, so just little things like that. I actually I think I'm holding like 2 contracts on the Boeing play that I called out early last week. I cashed the rest of them out, I think, at 60%, so that was good. What else was I looking at? Oh yeah, this is my favorite right now. I'm just going to go ahead and brag on it real quick. Ford has been an absolute blessing to me. Kind of self-explanatory here. History has repeated itself multiple times. And if it continues to repeat itself, we will be looking at a new all-time high for Ford. Volume has been very consistent the last 3 weeks. If you're not going to talk, I'd appreciate if you mute your mics. Background noise to a minimum. Thank you to whoever that was. Alright. What else was I? Google? What was I looking at with Google? Oh, no, I don't like Google right now. It looks okay, but oh yeah, what was it? Drawing blanks at the moment. I actually had to work in my other job that I haven't quit yet this morning, so Bumble looks like it's coming down for a retest. That'll be interesting. Alright, it looks like we're getting a lot of chart requests. Let me look at the general chat too. You guys can't only see one of my screens, so. Okay, AFRM is being a big one. So I'll just start at the top, SI. And if we could keep it to like mid, large, and mega caps. I'll chart out your small caps, but it's just not what the Discord is geared around. So yeah, looking at Silvergate SI on the weekly, it actually doesn't look bad. I'm gonna start out on the weekly on most of these since we did just finish off the week. Okay, it looks like it's getting ready to break a high here, doing a nice cup formation. Prior to contrary to belief, not every cup needs a handle. So when you see a cup formation, it's not always going to have a handle fall along with it. But when the handle does fall along, it is nice too. So yeah, it looks like it is going to break into a new high probably this week. If it doesn't, it'll come back down, probably retest inside this cup range, and then the following week is probably going to make a new high. Okay, thank you. Let's look at it on the daily, see if there's any good formations going. It looks like, holy crap. So yeah, this actually looks really nice. It was stuck in this channel right here for quite a long time. And you can see that when it finally did break that channel, it just went crazy. And we probably should pull up the volume by price and put it at the previous all-time high. There's probably a big volume gap, yeah, right around here. And that's why it moves so fast through here. So if we look at this right here, you can see this volume gap right here. That's why it moves so fast and so swiftly through that area to where we're at right now. But you got to remember, so it does look like it is going to flag right here and try to get pushed, maybe a new high. But you got to look at this area of consolidation right here. This was a big area. This was where a lot of people are taking profits now that did buy in this range. So they broke down into here and they waited for it to come back up. So you are going to see profit takers coming in now. So it is getting close to highs. It looks like it could keep going, but you got to remember that this high area volume right here is going to be what's going to kind of slow it down, possibly. Mute whoever that is. Okay, sorry. Alright, on to the next. Oh, that was somebody from last night. I'll go ahead and do snow. I already know what this one's doing. I think it's doing a cup and handle. It is, and it broke out of it. So I already had this one charted out. Okay, if we can keep our mics muted, please. I will mute you, thank you. So, yeah, snow is actually looking super good because it did, so like I said, that last one that was coming up to a cup, a lot of times you see it come up to the handle is because previously that the other side of the cup was higher as the volume, and then it dipped down below that, and then that's when you see the profit takers come in again, and that's why it slows down and goes into a handle, because people are like, okay, I need to possibly get out, or that's where people are accumulating institutions, whatever the case may be. But snow does look like it is going to break the top of this cup right here, and I actually missed that on what looks like it was Thursday. I've been watching this handle form. I didn't set an alert for it. That kind of disappoints me. But it did come down on Friday, which a lot of things did, so that's not a surprise. But yeah, snow actually looks like it could go keep this continuation because it had the reversal down here. It did that handle formation, and it does look like it will continue. If not, it'll get stuck in this again for a little while longer. Alright, on to the next. Let's see. I'm gonna try to keep these a little quick. I do have a lot of them to go through. I'm gonna try to stay on for an hour, which isn't that much time when it comes to charting. I've charted this out not too long ago. We're gonna look at this on a higher time frame to kind of get, because a lot of this moves have been within one area. So yeah. So like I said earlier, a lot of cup formations. You'll see people at the top of the cup. You'll see a lot of consolidation a lot of times. But this actually does not look very good. This is steel. I'm not exactly sure how steel is doing right now. Like it could keep coming down. This is the weekly time frame, so this is a longer term estimate right here. Right here, it's actually at the bottom of this. I'm gonna put the volume by price at the what looks like high for the last 3 years. So you can see right now this trend line. I'll go on the big screen. This trend line I just laid out is at the bottom of this volume shelf right here, which was a high area of accumulation. And so if we see it break down below that, you could see it move quickly to the next few weeks, kind of through this low volume area right here, and then stop. I don't want to. I hate chart down bearish charts long term because it just, I don't know. I'm not a fan. I don't mind playing down trends at all, but when it comes to planning out the downside, it's a little bit different than it is planning out the upside. It doesn't always go as well. But with this volume gap right here, you could see this move kind of quickly throughout the next few weeks, month or two, down to maybe the 14 area. If steel doesn't pick back up, that's something that you really have to watch as well when it comes to these type of materials. What's the next one? We're gonna look at net. I like net. Yeah, net has been crazy. So this is the weekly. Yeah, so a lot of these software companies have been just going like wild. Net doesn't look like it's gonna stop. So I'm gonna do the fibs on. Let's see. I'm going to swing low down here. This is the weekly, so this is a broad statement. but I'm just going to do a fib estimate right here because it is at all-time high. So if it does keep going, the next level I would look at would be the 155 level. It did put in that bullish engulfing for the last, yeah, that's a crazy candle this last week. So it really went. I wouldn't be surprised. It did end the week like at an all-time high, I believe. Like it closed out at an all-time high. I wouldn't be surprised if it does go a little bit, but it is gonna slow down and have to consolidate again eventually. So just keep that in mind if you're playing short-dated contracts. Not everything is a UPST, but these do look similar. They do look similar because they are similar. I'm gonna take this out. Oops, nope. So yeah, it did do a nice formation here and broke it. So you could see some continuation now that it is in the all-time high. For some reason, a lot of people think that once you make it into all-time high, like it just slows down immediately, which is not the case a lot of times. Like people think, oh, okay, it's at all-time high, it's time to short it. No, I mean this thing was strong on Friday. Still, it made a new high on Friday, which was a terrible day. Like the market was absolute dog shit. So the fact that it made a new high even on Friday shows that this still has relative strength. So that's something to keep an eye on. That's definitely that might be on my weekly watch for the week after I go through everything. This might be one that actually makes it up there for sure. Zoom, oof, it's been a tough call lately. I got burnt on some calls. Yeah, so Zoom had its earnings report right here, I believe. Yeah, it had earnings right there. That's the earnings gap. I don't see it filling anytime soon, but it could be basing right here at this 250 level. You can see I chart out Zoom quite often. But Zoom usually follows TA pretty well, but so you could see it base right here. Let me open this up. My indicator list is like massive. that it accumulated in before and made it like the run up to the high. So that's something I would keep on watch. I'm gonna put this in the high and see. Yeah. So it wouldn't. I don't see any like upwards movement until like we're nearing back. It's gonna base here and it's gonna put it in a consolidation. I would assume in this area right here, the 250 range. And then once it finally breaks out again, which I don't know, maybe if it gets some type of good news or if COVID continues to, I hate to say it, but I think it is a COVID stock, even though it is continuing afterwards. But once it does break the consolidation, it could see a run up back to 300 to the bottom of this gap right here. But it's not something that I would be interested in unless you want to do. I don't see the 250 range being. I could see it dropping down as low as like 220. Okay, somebody's coughing up like somebody got COVID in here. Let me block them before they give everybody else COVID. Alright, there. Jeez, man, what is up with you guys? Flacco Jacko. Thank you. Yeah, so, but unless you're doing equity, I don't see. You could do like weeklies on scalps or whatever if you can predict the little short moves here and there, but it's gonna put in some consolidation right here for sure. And then if it breaks below that 220, I have zero interest in it. Then it's definitely a COVID stock at that point. Penn, I think Penn actually had some good movement here recently. Oh no, it's forming, yeah. So you see, I'm gonna put the volume by price at the all-time high and kind of see where the buyers have been coming in, the sellers have been coming in, or the volume's been coming in since that drop from the all-time high. So you see right here, this is why the volume shelves are so nice. This highlighted area, I already had it highlighted. Let me make sure everybody can still hear me. Oh, well, oh, thanks for that, Monkey, but I think some people like to talk to me occasionally, so I'm just gonna have to get some more. Maybe I'm gonna have to get Kess as a mod so that he can meet people occasionally. But I'm sorry to everybody watching the recording. It looks like I can only record 15 minutes at a time. Want me to send you my Zoom link? You can record as much as you want. I have a Zoom. I didn't know. I like to. Wait, you can record screens as much as you want? We'll have to do it next time, because now I'm almost 36 minutes in. I'm gonna go up till 3 o'clock as long as the requests keep coming in. Oh, my transpider's kind of going slow. AES, so yeah, hold on. I like this. I can see it already. Boom. Classic, yes. You just want to see if I see the same thing, that's all it is. Yeah, so, hold on. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it is trying to break out of this channel right here, Cass, and I'm sure you knew that. But it is having some trouble. As you can see, every time it's tried to break out of that channel, it's thrown up a hammer. So that's something to keep an eye on. But Friday was an ass day, and it did look like I had a lot of momentum going up into the top of that channel. Let's look at it on a weekly. This is a formation that's been forming for a while. Oh, this looks beautiful. So, yeah, this actually looks really good. I like this. Yeah, I think this is going to break out to the upside. And it does look like the MACD is trying to turn bullish. Let's look at it, see if it does have the 21 to watch out for, but it is back over the 8 on the weekly, which is good. Yeah, and it's at near the top of the cloud. It looks like it's trying to get back over it. So yeah, that's good. I like that, Cass. Good eye. XLU utilities. Let's look at some utilities. I'm gonna save that. I don't know why. Okay, utilities. Add it to my other 3,000. Actually, I'll go over the whole. I will go over all the X's real quick and see where money's flowing at the moment. So we're gonna look at what is that? Materials. Yeah. Materials looks good. So this is like DuPont, stuff like that. Yeah. Finances and earnings are going to start soon, so that's something to definitely keep an eye on. And they're putting in a new high here. This is the weekly time, but they follow that cloud pretty good. Yeah, it looks like their XLF is getting ready to put in another high right here. If it can break out of this range, but it could be like an earnings run up and then the fake out. So that's something to keep an eye on as well when it comes to finances. So we're gonna look at let's look at JPM. Yeah, I already had this one. I think I posted this one the other day. This one did break to a new high. But let's see when is earnings will be on for JPM. It'll be on the 13th. So what a lot of times earnings, what I like to watch out for is the pre-earnings run up. Even if earnings are good, a lot of times it can be priced in. I don't like playing earnings, but I do like playing the run up to earnings, so I don't ever hold through them. Because like I said, a lot of times those moves up to them, it's just priced in. And so you'll see the dump. And that's why you see a dump on a lot of good earnings, because those moves are just priced in already. So the ones that catch you off guard, that's the ones you see like the gap ups and the gap downs. Let's look at Bank of America as well. Kind of see what it's doing. Yeah, the whole finance section is great. Monthlies. Yeah, in terms of, wait, are we looking at, oh yeah, what are we talking about? AES, in terms of how would you play it? Yeah, let's look at it real quick. I've never played AES. That's actually the first time I charted it. I'm not, it is energy, so. Yeah, when it comes to energy sector, it's not really a volatile sector to be in. I don't like to play short dated contracts and move really slow, which is fine. It's less risk, more of a calculated move. But I like to play monthlies. I like to go pretty far out when it comes to energy and utilities because they're boring, and you can often catch the move and just watch it slow grind up or slow grind down. And your favorite indicators besides volume profile, moving averages. This cloud right here, this MA cloud by Ripster is nothing more than it's the 20 and the 50 moving average. So let me go to a clean chart if I have any. So you can see this cloud right here. What I'm clicking on right now, that was the 50 and that's a 20 or 21. If I click them, it's just the 20 is going to be at the top or the bottom. If it's red, the 20 is on the bottom. If the higher moving average is above the lower moving average, that's considered bearish. So when you see a cross of like the 21 going back over the 8, it's usually because it's going towards a downtrending move. If you see the cross of the 50 going over the 200, that's considered, I actually think that one's considered like a golden cross if it's a simple moving average or something like that. That's considered bullish. So that's something to keep in mind if you didn't already know. AVGL, yeah. So you guys can see a lot of the dirty charts I've already had. I think there's only the KES is the only one I haven't charted on. Was that AES? Like I said, I have like thousands of tickers probably over here, and they all have trend lines on them. Yeah, AES. Let me remove these. That's old and ugly. It does. We're gonna put the. Let me see where I'm gonna put the volume by price. I was upset that I missed this move. I remember that. This move right here. Because I was waiting for it. A lot of people were. And then this one. But it faked a lot of people out, the AVGL. I actually started a swing as soon as it broke that. And I got burnt. I remember that. Yeah, this is going to come down and fill this little gap right here for sure. It doesn't even show it, but there is a small gap. Probably after hours. Yeah. So there is going to be a small gap right here, and it does look like a down. It may be a quick move down, but it's probably going to come down and fill that little gap down to the 480s. For basically 490, 489.35. But I do see this making move. The price action on this one's kind of wonky. Let's look at it on the weekly and kind of get a better perspective of it. So it looks like it's just following this channel upwards. This channel right here. Channels are great. A lot of people try to find a wedge or a triangle or a flag in every play. But what the most misconception, I think the biggest misconception a lot of people see is when a channel like this is on a downtrend. The first thing people automatically go to is, no, it's a bear flag, that's bearish. But no, that's a lot of times that's the reversal. And it's just going to fall. It's going to slow grind that channel back up. So I like channels. It gives a great perspective on which way the stock is moving, especially on like a weekly, because then you can kind of, especially for equity. If you're a big equity player, a big commons player, channels are awesome because you don't have to worry about expirations or anything like that. And you can just follow the direction that it's pointing to. Like this is pointing upwards. I don't see an issue with it continue going upwards. In the short term, you could see, obviously, there's red candles in every uptrend. There's green channels in every downtrend. This didn't go straight up. There was red candles in between. People saw red weeks. So that's something to watch out for as well if you're playing short-dated contracts. But I do see this continue going up. My thoughts on SQ. Ben, stop. I gotta pee. Alright, let's give everybody time. Okay, you sit down to pee anyways, guys. SQ, yeah, man. You know, I thought SQ was going to 300. That move up this move 2 months ago, definitely thought it was going to go to 300. I was very upset that it hasn't, but it has been doing decent. It did, though this could be the sign of the reversal back to upwards, but this is a very market dependent one. I feel a lot of times it definitely goes with the market. A lot of times it doesn't seem to have its own relative strength unless it has a catalyst drop. So you can expect this one to go when the market goes, just like Friday was an ass day and it completely dumped. But on the daily, it is kind of in this big bull flag right here, channel, however you want to see it. But to get out of it, it's really got to break out of this downtrend. It is bouncing well off the bottom of this though, so if it does come back down, you could probably count on a bounce right there. You're welcome, Cass. You're welcome. A Facebook chart. Yeah. Yeah, so I think, well, it depends on if Facebook keeps going down or not. We'll remove that was old. Actually, when it did this above this rounded formation right here, I definitely thought it had continuation in it. But that last day, I was like, the last day before it dumped, I was like, I don't know. It has like no strength. It's barely putting in green days. And so I was like, I don't know. But now, I think we're going to see, let's turn that back on, because that shows some Facebook had hour movements a lot of times. Let's put the volume up price a couple months back. We're going to put it on this move right here. I think this is a good place for the base. I think probably institutions are loading up on this bad boy right here. And if we do see a move back out of like the 340 range-ish, I don't see 350 being an issue. So that'll be really interesting to play, unless it keeps going. I mean, if Facebook continues to have negative catalysts, it'll outrule fundamentals, outrule technical analysis all day long, all day, every day. Fundamentals can destroy any bullish pattern that you're looking at, or it can destroy any downtrend. It can cause a reversal in the blink of an eye. So that's something always to keep in mind. I play mostly technical analysis, but a lot of my plays do have some type of fundamental involved with them. Yeah, a lot of the car manufacturers, Cass, are doing really good. This was funny. This was charted out a long time ago. I think it was in this area right here. It was right under. Yeah, this is charted out right here. I was charting out for calls. I never played it, but it was funny because it finally did make it above that little call trigger I had going on. Let me get rid of this. Above that little call trigger, and then it just freaking dumped back down. But it is seeing it, but we are going to see some resistance around the $60 range as a psych number and as an accumulation number. There was a lot of accumulation in that area. Let's put the price there. But I think you can see that $60 range, once it gets over that, the volume is pretty slim. So I think we could see a move back up to this. Well, back up. I think that would be an all-time high. I mean, before I say that now, I have to look at like a monthly on these old. Yeah, so actually, yeah, so 65 would be an all-time high for it. So that's a possibility. Actually, in the monthly, it looks really nice. So it broke out of this wedge flag here, and is actually doing super good on the month. That's why I love looking at longer time frames, because you can really see the perspective. Every monthly candle has like a story to it. There's a lot of data just in this one candle right here. You can obviously go down to the weekly and look. 4 of these is one monthly, and then 31 of these are compacted in 1 month. So it really gives you a good perspective when looking at which direction it's going to go.